If you're over 40 and you feel like you're doing everything right, eating less and trying harder, and the scale won't budge, today I'm going to show you 3 metabolic switches that are almost certainly turned off in your body right now. But I'm also going to show you exactly how to flip each one back on. The best part is that these are simple, free, and effective. They're the exact 3 metabolic switches I start with every woman I work with. Because if these 3 aren't turned on, nothing else is going to work when it comes to weight loss. But I want to say this right out of the gate. You are not lazy. There is nothing wrong with you, and you are not broken. You're a woman who has been last on your own list of priorities for far too long. But that's exactly what we're going to start changing today. I'm Jenny Tonin, a holistic nutritionist. And years ago, I was told that I was broken. I was told I had a hormonal condition called PCOS and that there was nothing I could do about it. I'd be lucky if I could stay under 200 pounds. I was told it was genetic. It was a fixed thing. It was just my lot in life. And the symptoms, well, I had to struggle through them and do my best to manage them. But that was it. I didn't accept that. I figured out what I had to do. I did the work and I went on to resolve it naturally. So when I tell you that your body's not the enemy, that it's a messenger, not a malfunction, I've lived this and I've walked so many women through this since. So before we get to these 3 metabolic switches, let's be honest about what you've already tried. You cut the calories and you got hungrier and crankier and probably had to white knuckle cravings way more than you wanted to, and it barely moved the needle. You added in the workouts and you got more exhausted. You bought the supplement, you downloaded the app, you drank the tea, and you joined that 30-day challenge. And yet here you are. So here is why none of that stuck. Every single one of those things is another demand on your body, and your body is running on fumes. You've been pouring from an empty cup for years and then wondering why you have nothing left to give. You can't punish a depleted body into health. And if you keep on going the way that you're going, restrict harder, push harder, well, 6 months from now, you're going to be in the same boat. You're going to be in the same position. You're just going to be more tired and more convinced that there's something wrong with you. But what if the problem was never you? What if the problem was the game you've been taught to play, where you're supposed to compartmentalize everything and you're supposed to do this thing over here to fix your weight. And then you're supposed to do this other thing to fix your energy. And then you need to do this to fix your stress, all separately, but all at once somehow. And if you can't do it, if it's a struggle for you, well, then you're told that that's a you problem, that that's your lack of discipline or your lack of willpower or your lack of follow through. And you blame yourself and you shame yourself. You've been trying to renovate the upstairs while the foundation is full of cracks. So here's the shift. These 3 switches that we're going to talk about now, they're not hacks. They're the first 3 ways that you put yourself back on your own list of priorities. Your metabolism isn't broken. It's been abandoned. The same way that you probably quietly abandoned yourself without even fully realizing it by taking care of everyone and everything else around you and sacrificing your own well-being in the process. So what I'm going to teach you now, these aren't diet rules. They're not more restrictions. They're the first small ways that you can start coming back to yourself. And here's the thing that I really want you to hear. You came to this video looking for help with weight loss, the number on the scale that won't budge, the jeans that just don't fit, the tiredness that won't go away. But there's a bigger question, a question that you probably haven't asked out loud, and maybe you haven't even really fully realized that you're quietly wondering that. How do you do that in your already full life without sacrificing all of the other things that you have to take care of and without taking away from all the other parts of your life that matter most? And that's not a weight loss question. That's a life question. But these three switches, they're where the answer starts. So these three switches, they stack one on top of the other. Each one makes the next one easier, which is why order matters. So switch one, it only takes about 2 minutes a day, and it's almost always overlooked when it comes to weight loss. Every metabolic reaction in your body, it starts with two things. It runs on water and minerals. Most women are nowhere near when it comes to getting enough of these. So here's what low grade dehydration looks like in everyday life. And I bet that you've blamed every single one of these things on something else entirely. So that 3 p.m. wall where you would basically sell your soul for a cookie or a coffee, often that's water. The headache that you've been chalking up to hormones or stress, often that's water and minerals. Waking up at 3 a.m. wired and parched, the crankiness, the fogginess, the walking into the room and going, why am I in here again? Water and minerals. But flipping this one switch, well, it can help fast. Most women tell me that it feels like a fog has lifted within the first couple of days. And the formula for how much water you need, well, don't worry if you're not a math person. I get it, neither am I, but it's simple. Take your body weight in pounds and divide that number by 2. Whatever number you get, that's approximately how many ounces of water you should ideally be aiming for each and every day. So the easiest method I found to make this actionable in life so that you actually get it done will simply pour out your day's water the night before. Put it in glass jars and line it up somewhere in your kitchen on your counter where you can't miss it. No app, no counting, no ticking it off in a box. You just look. When the water's gone, you know that you're done. And if I'm being totally honest, I'm a nutritionist and I still have days where I look up at 3 p.m. and realize that all I've had is coffee and barely any water. But the difference isn't that I never fall off track with these things. The difference is that the jars on the counter, it makes this what I call stupid easy. I don't need motivation. I don't need to remember anything. I just need to see the jar, drink my water. And I built this as a system so a bad day doesn't turn into a bad week or a bad month or a habit that I'm always meaning to start and never do. And if you want an A+ when it comes to the hydration department, well, each day you can start your morning by having a mug of warm water and adding some high quality salt to it for a hit of minerals. I usually start my day with a mug of warm water, add a splash of lemon juice, and then either some real salt or Celtic gray salt. And this is hydration plus a little minerals, which is a great support for your stress response first thing in the day. Now, if you've just heard me tell you to drink your water and there is a tired little voice inside of you that's going, sure, okay, I'll do it for about 3 days and then I'll forget it like I always do. I want you to really hear me for a second. That is not a willpower problem. That's what years of putting yourself last on your list of priorities, that's what that does to a woman. The starting isn't the issue. The coming back to it is. And that's exactly why I built Becoming. It's not about fixing you. You're not broken. Becoming is a 21-day reset for women in midlife. Women who want to feel like themselves again. Women who want to not only look better, but feel better from the inside out. This is not another meal plan or diet plan. This is not another try harder, do better challenge. This is about the deeper work of coming back home to yourself so that those simple things that you know help you so that you can actually do them consistently for the long term so that they finally stick. And the second that you join the Becoming waitlist, well, you get my free workshop, 3 essential steps to lasting change that nobody talks about so that you can get started on all of this today. So I'll link this all in the description. Be sure to go grab it. Okay, so now on to switch number 2. And this is one where the numbers and the results surprise people. Protein is your metabolic accelerator, but it's also a cravings killer. And one of the great things about protein is about 20 to 30% of the calories that you ingest when you eat protein, well, they simply just get burned by your body digesting it. Here's where you feel low on protein, even if you've never even connected the dots. It's that 3 p.m. raid on the snack drawer or the vending machine at work. It's being genuinely hangry and snapping at somebody that you care about only to hate yourself 10 minutes later. It's eating what you thought was a healthy lunch and being starving by 2 p.m. So when you actually hit your protein target, that whole pattern, it goes quiet. You stay full. The cravings stop running the show. And this is one that women tell me that they didn't expect. You stop being the woman that snaps and is so reactive. That steadiness, that's from protein. So the target that I encourage for basically all women is to aim for a minimum of 30, ideally closer to 40 grams of protein at each and every meal. And I know that some women can hear that number and feel defeated or overwhelmed before they even start. I get it. So let's make this super easy. Now, one of my favorite ways to help me get enough protein in my day, and my family loves it and my clients love it, is to simply take 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt and add a scoop of good quality whey protein to it. You can get fancy with it if you like. You can add a handful of your favorite berries, some of your favorite nuts or seeds, but in that small little parfait, you're getting about 40 grams of protein. You can batch prep this, you can take it with you on the go, you can have it at home and it feels like a treat or a dessert. I absolutely love this way of helping me get enough protein, but you can hit your protein goals and you can be drinking the water and still stay stuck if switch number 3 is not turned on. This one is the sneakiest because it has nothing to do with what you put in your body. It's about what happens after you eat. So every time you eat, you get a blood sugar spike. When your blood sugar spikes, your insulin spikes. Insulin is essentially a fat storage hormone. When your insulin is elevated, you cannot tap into the fat stores on your body. You can't burn that fat. And somewhere between 80 to 90% of us are walking around in an almost constant state of elevated insulin, meaning we're never tapping into our fat stores. So you know that post-lunch coma where you put your head on the desk and take a nap if you could. That's a blood sugar crash. That 4 p.m. slump, the bone deep, I just need sugar or coffee so I can make it until dinner. The nightly pull toward wine and carbs that you promise yourself you won't do and then do it. That's not weakness. That's a blood sugar roller coaster that you've been strapped to all day long. Smooth out the ride and those cravings, they lose their grip. The afternoon slump lifts and you get steady energy that lasts until bedtime. So how do we do this? Well, that's where the 30-30-30 rule comes into play. And it's simple. It's 30 plus grams of protein at each and every meal, plus 30 grams of carbs that come from low starch veggies or low sugar fruit, followed by a 30-minute walk after your meal. And listen, I get it. Going for a 30-minute walk after your meal might sound nice until you remember that you have a job and kids and a sink full of dishes. I get it. So here's the real life version if that's just too much. It doesn't have to be a 30-minute walk, and it doesn't have to be every single meal. 10 minutes after dinner so that you and your kid can go for a walk and you can actually hear about their day and not be distracted with everything else that's going on in life. Pacing around the kitchen when you're on a phone call, moving after the biggest meal of your day. These can all be versions that survive real life because 85% done consistently beats 100% for only 9 days and then it being abandoned. And notice what that little walk actually is. It's not just about tending to your blood sugar. That same walk that helps to steady your glucose, well, it does a lot of other things too. It gives you a breath of fresh air. It gives you a chance to connect with somebody that you value in your life, where you can actually listen. That same walk helps to calm your nervous system. So that one small action of going for a walk, that actually tends to 4 different areas of your life all at once. And that's the whole secret, honestly. You don't need more hours in your day. You need more actions that do double or triple duty. So let me tell you about a client of mine named Lisa. She came to me when she was 47 and she was complaining that she felt bloated and foggy and exhausted, and she felt like she was doing everything right, but she wasn't getting anywhere. She didn't see any results, and she was so frustrated. We didn't overhaul her entire life all at once. We flipped these 3 switches, and that's it for her first stretch. And when we followed up, she told me that she had energy that she felt like she hadn't had in years. The fog had lifted, and yes, her favorite jeans went back on, buttons and all. But here's what she told me that mattered so much more than the jeans. She said that she felt like this was the first time in years that she was actually on her own side, where she wasn't punishing and forcing and trying to discipline her way into results. And that's what these switches really do. They're not about numbers on the scale. They're about not arriving at the end of your life and mourning the woman you could have been. So I just gave you 3 switches. Let's be real. If you're not doing any of them and you try to switch all 3 of these starting tomorrow, odds are that you won't be doing any of them by next week. So instead, here's the one move that you can start for the next 7 days. So starting tonight, before you go to bed, figure out how much water you need for your body, and then pour that all out into some jars and line it up on your counter, somewhere where you can't miss them. And then as you go through your day tomorrow, drink your water. Take it with you if you're on the go, and repeat this task every day for the next week. That's it. Don't touch the protein thing yet. Don't schedule the walks yet. Just pour the water and drink the water every day. Because the woman that's pouring out the water for herself tonight, she's the woman that's already put herself back on her own list of priorities. And it might be a small step, but it's a meaningful step. And then next week, as you've become used to pouring out the water and then drinking it, start working at gradually adding in the next 2 switches, one at a time. And this makes the whole process so much easier, but it also makes it so much more likely that you'll actually stick with it. And that's really what matters most. And if you want the deeper version of all of this, the part where we make staying on your own list of priorities automatic, that's what becoming is. The waitlist and the free workshop are linked below. Go grab it now. And if you take one thing from today, let it be this. Your metabolism isn't broken. It's been waiting for you to come back. Water, protein, steady blood sugar, 3 switches. And it starts tonight, pouring out your water for tomorrow. We don't have to do all the things all at once perfectly right off the bat. Just a daily return, coming home to yourself, one small thing at a time. And if consistency is that thing that always trips you up, I get it. That was my thing for a really long time, where you start strong, but you fall off after a week or 2 or maybe 3. Then watch my consistency code video next. This is where I talk about how I fell off my own 75-day challenge at day 65. But what that taught me, well, it changed how I do everything. So I will see you in that video. As always, I hope so much that this video helped. Thank you so much for watching.